So all the plants I was growing are dead, and you know, rather than act naturally like a normal person, I needed to make a video today, so I figured I would be dramatic about it. And I don't know, maybe I'll call this video something like Awake for Plants. Let's drink. Oh wow. This is All right, so it's called Winter Jack. It is like basically some kind of Jack Daniel's drink that you're supposed to have hot in the winter. That was given to me over Christmas because the original owner hated it. And I was like, hey, I drink Apple Jacks, which is just apple juice and Jack Daniel's, and it's delicious and very refreshing. So no reason I won't like this. Cool, it's strong, it's strong. Ooh, pardon my little roll there. There's just so much man in this shirt. Anyway, so when I was thinking about how I needed to make a video for today, I was sitting up here in the, I can't do this whole video, you're just gonna have to enjoy them. When I was sitting and thinking about what I could make today's video about, let me move into center frame here. When I was up here today, thinking about what I could make today's video about, like, it's very muggy still, the sun's gone away, but it's still very muggy. So there's like plenty of clouds in the sky. Hopefully that means we're gonna get a storm, but who knows. And I heard like a little soft kind of bang. And I was like, oh, I wonder what that could be. So I hoisted myself up and I looked over at the window and I couldn't see anything. And so I was like, oh, I wonder what that could be. So then I went over to the window and I looked out of the window, and the little greenhouse that I bought and had been growing my little seedlings in had fallen over on its front because it's quite windy today. Which is part of the reason that it's not as hot as it's been, right? Oh, I've just realised I still have the fan on. I'll turn that off for now just in case it's causing any mic issues. And yeah, so instantly I was like, sugar. So then I went downstairs and I went out into the garden, and it's like a little polythene thing, right? Like one of those little narrow frame with the plastic over it, because I didn't need anything big. I was only growing seedlings, and it had just fallen over forwards. And I was like, no, because then there was damage was already done, right? Like all soil had fallen out of all the pots and the seed trays and stuff like that. It was carnage. Like, I didn't take a picture of it, but I'm sure it looked a little bit something like this. And then I had to upright it, right? So the shelves aren't fixed inside this thing, so they'd come loose as it fell over on its front. And because it's fallen over on its front, I couldn't like unzip the plastic to get in there and look at stuff. So I kind of just had to tumble it all again by standing it back up. And the seeds in this greenhouse, right? They'd been a little bit stubborn at first, but then I'd been getting some really beautiful, like that high or so, little seedlings out of it. Flowers were well on their way. Like I could taste it. Like it was so close. And then that happened. A lot of the little seedlings were like shredded up out of their dirt and stuff like that, and their wee little baby stalks were broken, and they were snapped, leaves broken off. Luckily, they'd taken root a bit already, so a lot of them still sort of held their dirt in place. Do you know what I mean? So their dirt could sort of easily be put back into some seed trays, but of 6 trays, I only saved 2 of them. And in those 2 trays, maybe half of the seedlings look like they're gonna make it. So like that's kind of, I was having a difficult day already. Like it was kind of a non-starter. I was trying to think of what I could do for today's video, and as time ticked on and on, I was kind of like just at a loss for ideas. We're getting so close to 100 now, right? The things I want to be doing actually have a lot more prep time. Like I want to put a lot more effort into the videos I make, and I want to be able to like do more research and stuff like that. But while I'm kind of doing all of the things I'm doing because I want to be like streaming. The streaming's going really well and I really like it, and making good videos, so I've put more effort into stuff and that takes longer. So then it sort of feels like I can't catch up with myself and all the things that I want to do. So I was just a little bit like tense, right? Like thinking of all the things that I could do that I'm not doing. And then that happened. And it's a bit like, you know when you stub your toe, and more than anything, it hurts your pride. and suddenly all you've done is stub your toe and you're just full of rage. Do you know what I mean? Like for that split second, it's just like rage and you're so cross. And it's just, I don't know, it's kind of baseless, right? Like it shows how much tension you were holding in your body up until that point. And that's kind of what happened when that greenhouse fell over, right? Like I went out and I was completely devastated and I had to like ruin them even more to pick the thing up, and then I had to sweep up all of the dirt and broken seedlings from my garden, try and rescue the ones that I could. Then I figured out a way to use some shelf hooks that we had in the shed and a hammer and some nails to sort of like fix it to a fence panel, which I should have done before, but there was a weight in the bottom of it that had been removed. But that's like, it's because I was using a kettlebell, right? And so then the kettlebell has been moved out of that little greenhouse when it was holding it down because the kettlebell is being used, right? And so then it just didn't have the weight to fight the wind. But so I've like hooked it to the wall now, and about halfway through this whole process, like it actually became very therapeutic. Like because I'd gone down there in a rush, I didn't have my phone with me or anything like that. But then it forced me to actually kind of derail my day and take a couple of minutes to do something outside, which is somewhere I haven't spent a lot of time recently because it's been too hot, and just fixing a problem. I had to take a break from the overthinking, from the, you know, low level, but anxiety, it was anxiety, from the low level anxiety of the thing that I wanted to do something I didn't want to do, but that actually gave me a very immediate problem that I could solve, tidy up after, and move on from. And yes, it's a shame that I lost all those seedlings because it was very satisfying to see them grow. So yeah, I did lose something, but what I gained from that happening still exists, right? Like it gave me a really chill perspective. And I think that 2 years ago, 3 years ago, I would never have taken the time to sort of stop and take stock of how things like that can actually affect you positively if you just look at them in the right way. And I know that there are much, much bigger problems in the world right now than my seedlings, right? Like I know that. I know that it's just so minute, right? And when I title this video something like, I don't know, what is it going to be like? Plant funeral, let's get drunk. It's just kind of me using what I think is funny to help those kind of, to help the tension diffuse, right? Like I'm like to think of myself as really not the kind of person to dwell on these kind of things. And I think sometimes being an optimist and being a happy person and being a positive presence can lead me to just kind of trample things down inadvertently, right? Like not even deliberately. There are things that I sit on because either I'm trying to deal with them healthily and inadvertently bury them without really processing how they bothered me, or I just ignore them, right? Or I just ignore them because I don't want to be that person. I don't want to be full of negativity or stuff like that. So I'm kind of, forgive me the spirits of all those dead seedlings, kind of glad it happened. What it gave me was a sense of perspective and a little break and a satisfying little task where I could fix an immediate problem and be satisfied with the outcome. And also, it gave me a topic for today's video. It gave me something to talk about, which I think was fun. Now I need you to know that largely alcohol is a prop for these videos because it's fun. I don't pour myself a drink every time something bad happens. Yes, I had a drink, but because it was fun, not because I needed it to process, okay? So it was like wildflowers, right? Like it was some wildflowers, some poppies, some like mixed blue flowers. I think there was like some wild foxglove in there or something like that as well. I love foxglove. I think that's a really cool plant. But a lot of them are gone now and it's too late in the season. It's nearly July. Really too late in the season to plant any new ones. So that'll be it for this year. There won't be any flowers in the garden. But some bamboo I bought in a pot is actually doing really well. I bought it when it was like nearly dead and that's nearly recovered. So I have lots of other things in the garden in terms of plants to look forward to seeing the growth of. That would be really nice. Do you like my vest, by the way? It's from my store that I shut down because I really couldn't I couldn't give it the due attention that it needed, sadly. So yeah, anyway, happy Pride Month. I'm feeling good. I'm going into this evening feeling very positive, and I want you guys to maybe, I don't know, I wouldn't be so arrogant as to think that this story could be some kind of fable, right? But sometimes when bad things happen, they're good for you, right? But it's taken me a while to be able to get to somewhere where I can see it like that and not just focus on how many bad things are happening to me, right? Because that's quite a anxious and self-centered for me, right? I'm not offering therapy. This is this is my viewpoint on how things work for me and how I muddle through things. Please don't take this as me trying to like talk down to anyone or give anyone expert advice, because that's absolutely not it. But sometimes I find it soothing to listen to other people's perspectives, right? I think it's helped me over the years. So anyway, that's kind of it. My greenhouse fell over, my plants died. We had some of this winter Jack, which actually is just Applejack, and it tastes amazing. It's super refreshing. And if you've never done it, I would recommend putting some Jack Daniels in some apple juice, because it's very refreshing. It's got that smack. It's really, really good. Would recommend. You know, it's especially nice in the sun. So if you have a chance to have an Applejack in the sun, I insist. And if it's not called an Applejack, tell me off in the comments, because I probably deserve it. We're also getting to that point where I should probably start asking you guys to do stuff like, you know, comment down below, like and share and subscribe and stuff like that, because now that the 100 days is nearly gone, we got to get serious, right? We got to lean in. We got to be a YouTuber. Because I would really love for like video making to be a part of my future, and I know that in order to do that, I probably have to take a lot of it more seriously. Sorry, I've got, I think, what's probably either a hair or a spider web. This house is littered with spiders. I don't know if you were on stream the other day, but I was talking about how, you know, it's been so hot we've left the windows open at night. Spiders have just come in and there's huge spiders. But maybe that's a story for another day, my spider stories, my spider encounters. Like, I could probably make a video that was like 7 terrifying spider encounters in my own home, but that's not today's video. Today's a bit more chill. Today's a bit more rambling. It's a bit more random, right? And really, if I'm cleaning up my act on this YouTube channel and doing something more specific and professional, I don't know how many more of these videos I'll get where I can just talk to you. Just like ramble some shit out, right? Because it doesn't seem like that's going to... Because I don't think that's what the wider YouTubes wants to see. It's just some like large homosexual in his knockoff shirt vest, in his knockoff vest, drinking alcohol and talking about how terrible his plants are doing. Okay, so I will stop rambling there. Thank you for keeping me company. Thank you for chatting with me. I hope you have a really nice evening, because I think I'm going to, because I'm feeling good about it. 40% of that might be the drink. Okay, bye.